Jackson. Specifically the accounts, the purpose, and also the transactions that concern you in that account. As you know, some 11 million approximately of public funds went into that account. I'll just show you this Exhibit 72C, which is the signatory card to the account for you to confirm that you are signatory to this account together with the ex-president. Subsequently, there was another signatory as well, Mariam Khan.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature.
That's correct. The first one, yes, it's my signature, and the other one also at the bottom.
Correct. It's correct that another account was also opened at EcoBank.
At EcoBank?
EcoBank.
I cannot recall.
You cannot recall that?
No.
All right, we'll come back to it. I'm going to give you the transaction bundles and the bank statement. Can you give them to? What was the purpose of these accounts, and how did it come into being?
It relates to the tribute to Michael Jackson. At some point, the former president, met with Jermaine Jackson. He's the brother to Michael Jackson. I believe that started in the U.S. and then he was around. He was in Banjul. And I understand that Jermaine wanted to organize a tribute to his late brother. And the former president decided, and offered to him that he would host it instead in the Gambia. So I believe that's how it started, and when it was closer, the decision was to open up an account at I don't know which bank is that.
Trust Bank.
At the Trust Bank, where funds were to be lodged, for the operations of and smooth functioning of the event.
Do you know how the president met with this Jermaine Jackson?
The president was into celebrities. There are many times that he would invite actors, actresses, film producers, and stars in different areas. I believe he was introduced by one Mbake Jum, who lives in Jum. He lives in the U.S.
Okay, can you spell it?
Mbake, and Jum is Dioum.
Okay.
He was the one that was linking him up with celebrities.
This is a Senegalese national?
Senegalese,
maybe American or Senegalese?
Senegalese American, but he stays in Los Angeles. So he was the one that, brought in, many Hollywood movie stars, to him, and introduced German to the president. So our understanding, our assumption was.
Before we continue with this one, so apart from Jamin Jackson, which other celebrities, as a matter of interest, are you aware of?
No, there were many. Some I wouldn't recall, their names, but there were movie writers, there were actors in, Hollywood, and some of these Nigerian, also movie stars would most of the time around him, if he has programs, or he would just invite them in festivities. But I at some point I had known many of those, but I left the place some while ago, and a lot of things happened, so I can't recall most of the names. But I know that there were celebrities from the U.S. that normally I'm acquainted with him.
Does Hobo Entertainment ring any bell? Hobo, H-O-B-O.
H-O-B-O.
No. Okay. All right. We might come back to it.
I can't recall. Yeah. I need to.
So he decided he would host.
Sorry.
The ex-president decided he would host the event.
Yes.
And what did hosting entail?
To our understanding, he was going to fund it.
Okay.
Nobody forced him or forced the Gambia or the government to host such an event. It's a private matter. It's a private family thing, but he wanted to do it. And, we assumed that he was, going to fund it. But at the end, it turned out that it wasn't the case.
What do you mean?
That he had to resort to government to provide funds.
So when this account was being opened, it was apparent that it would be funded from, at least partly from public funds.
From the government. From him, yeah.
So you at the time, what position did you hold at the time? Were you the Secretary General? I believe you must have been.
What year was this?
So Ministry of Finance was involved in this matter because obviously you had to request that the funds be provided.
Yes.
Was there any, it's a little difficult to appreciate how, it seems so easily government funds can just be used for this sort of thing. So maybe we need to have an insight into maybe the thinking of public officers. Was it just another knee-jerk reaction? The president wants this and everybody jumps and does it? Really, we just need to understand.
Yeah, it's very difficult and very hard, to explain the rationale, behind some of these actions. Yes, the president, he was the leader and he was the head of state. He had decided. He instructed the Minister of Finance. Yes, the Minister of Finance, on many occasions would always scratch his head and he would always complain, to his credit, that, funds, it would be very difficult, to get these funds here and there and all that. But for him, it's something that needs to be done. If they have to go and borrow, wherever they have to go and find money, they would have to go and find money. And that is that kind of attitude that he brings in the cabinet. And, the Minister of Finance would have to then go and look for, for funds, where to tap the funds. Because it was said that it was going to happen. He needed to do it, he had to do it, and he had to go and find a way of doing it. But it was very difficult. Most of the time, some of these decisions that he had to impose on his ministers.
Council, we're just curious, as a matter of interest to the Commission, the assumption that he was going to personally fund it, was that based on past practice? Do you have any concrete example where he funded something personally? Because we're thinking, besides his salary, funding this, what other source? This was going to be expensive. So give us an example to help us understand the basis for that assumption.
Sometimes he holds an event at the Makati Square, or at Kanilai, that, he funds.
Personally?
Yes.
From his salary account?
I don't know where his salary account, but he, he provides the money to the organizers.
We know two sources. We know two sources, either government funds or his salary. Where else, besides those two?
I don't know, he's the president, he has ways and means of getting money. I don't know, really.
No, what we're trying to find out is the assumption that he was going to personally fund it. It has to be based on something you have seen, something you believe.
That's what I said. Yeah.
So from the Ministry of Finance to the Office of the Secretary General, there has to be some observation, because you guys have been there a few years. You've seen a pattern. I have not come across anywhere where he personally funded anything. Not on paper, no. Maybe theoretically. So what we are saying, besides what he used to get as a salary and government funds, where else would he fund this from?
I wouldn't know.
Thank you.
The withdrawals.
Yes.
Apart from the government putting in 11 million, I see from the records that quite a number of institutions and individuals donated as well.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the withdrawals that you dealt with. Why? Was there any aspect of this event that was financed by the Jackson family?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
It was just a golden plate handed over to them.
So how was it organized?
How was it organized? There was a standing organizing committee that would...
Comprising of who?
Comprising of some cabinet ministers and some local individuals that
cabinet ministers and?
some individuals, local individuals.
Yeah, could you name the cabinet ministers that you recollect?
Honorable Farumas Job, Honorable Parliament Fai, and
Fatulamin Fai. Sorry, I'm not getting Honorable
Fatulamin Fai.
Okay.
Honorable Minister of Finance. Sometimes, it depends on the occasions. If they were on the programs, on the events,
who was the
they are scattered around.
Okay. But these are the standard people who would be in these committees?
These committees, yes. And sometimes the Vice President would chair some of these committees. But basically you have, the ministers and some other individuals. But, Farouk Mas probably being event organizer as part of our career, and also in the tourism area, probably that's why she was chosen to lead. But we have those members that would meet, and that is the standing organizing committee, and there would be subcommittees that would be identified and chosen, and areas dealing with security protocol, accommodation, logistics, and ushers and the like would be assigned, work to do, and they would go and look for invoices. They would go and talk to people or meet just to make sure that the event is successful. So when they will come and they will come up with a budget, and that budget would be scrutinized by the organizing committee, and then it can be taken to the former president for approval, endorsement, and then it comes back to the organizing committee for further action.
What you described, it seems to me, did take a lot of time of public officials who should be busy running the country. Really.
They've been running the country. They've been, doing their work, but also they will find time, for such events. And it's like they are all the time there. They have subcommittees. Once the committee, the organizing committee met, they may fall back and allow the subcommittees to do their work, and then bring it back to the committee while they continue with their job.
All right. Let's look at the transactions. I have given you Exhibit 72C, which is a statement of account from Trust Bank Limited.
72C?
I've given you a bundle of documents.
You just gave me the signature card.
What is that on the side? Didn't I give you? I think I did. What is that other document?
The other document is also a signature card where Maria McCann, a former SD, also signed. And the other one is my signature with the former president.
The document.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay.
You've seen.
I've seen the statement of account.
You've seen the statement of account. Good. I'm just trying to find my own copy. Yourself and the President were the first two signatories. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. There were some transactions or checks that you signed together with the President. And I would like you to assist us and tell us what it is for. There was a check of $2,250,000 and $2,250,250. It was issued to Trust Bank Limited.
It's in here.
Have you been able to? It's dated 28 May 2010.
28 May.
Okay. I thought to give you the bundle. Can I have the bundle back so that we can take it? Let me direct him. Maybe what I'll do, I'll just give you these extracts, and instead of you finding them in that bundle, just, you will use this. And if you can. Wait. These are the transactions I would like you to explain. So you'll take them one by one. I'll give you the first two because I don't have copies in the same order. What transaction are you looking at?
Hold it.
Oh, it's part of Exhibit BB72C.
Are those exhibited documents?
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us the exhibits, please? numbers?
It's not written here.
Oh,
It's
not.
just an
It's part of
extract
the
from the
bundle,
bundle. BB 72C.
DB
72C.
72C.
Trust bank account.
Yes.
BB 72C.
Yes. Trust bank account.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the one on dated 28 May 2010 of $2,250,250.
Yes.
It was in relation to a chartered flight for in German Jackson's team
From the U.S.
from the U.S.
So a flight was chartered to go and pick them up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's, at least we have an explanation. Let's go to the next transaction. I believe it's a check for $2,836,552.
Yes, 22nd May, the same day. It was paid to an airline, the airline company, Gambia Travel and Tourism Agency. And it also is related to guests that were coming from the U.S. chartered flight. Yeah, I mean, apart from that one that
So
I mentioned
they could not fit in the plane, so they had to have separate tickets.
They were
All right.
individuals. Yeah.
So give us an example of the individuals that attended from the U.S. apart from the Jackson family.
I cannot recall, but there were some celebrities there, and mostly celebrities and some others that we may not know who they were.
Celebrities in the music industry or film
In
industry?
in
or?
music and film industry.
Okay.
But it's a long time ago, and I'm just trying to recall, but I can't remember all their names. But I
Yeah,
know
but
that there were.
Any one of them you recollect? All right. Okay, you cannot. Can I have those? Give him this lot.
I cannot.
Thank you.
There was a check
Okay, tell us what you have.
of a check dated 22nd May 2010 of 650,000. That was cash, to one Boubacar Ba.
Yes.
And I believe this Boubacar Ba was providing foreign exchange, foreign money, foreign currency to the president.
So why would the president require foreign money with regard to this event?
I wouldn't know why. Probably he wanted to have a hold on them.
He wanted to have?
A hold on foreign currency. But I wouldn't know, why. But I understood that he was providing foreign currency.
Let's go to the fourth check. It's for $2,456,731. Paid to Trust Bank Limited.
It has to do with a transaction, a foreign transaction related to this, to the festival. But I don't have I don't have much details here, and I cannot. I remember signing, and the president also signing, and I know it's a conversion of Darasi to dollars.
Now, in the statement you made to the investigators, you were quite specific. Yeah, you said it was for $63,000 and $16,470 respectively.
Yes. Based on what has been written here as a conversion, if you look at the
well, you are taking it from there.
Yeah.
You're saying you can't remember what it was used for.
All I know that it has to do with a transaction out of the country. But I know that it was a sale of currencies. One was 63,000 and the other was 16,400. But it has to do with the first, the program, the event. So if I had, said anything to the investigators, I might be, assisted with that to refresh my memory again. But I know that it has to do with the festival. And probably if it is, I just cannot remember. But I know that it has to do with the event.
All right, let's do the next one. 620,000. This is another trust bank. Check. Pay to trust bank. Check. Paid to Babukar Ba.
It's the same Bubakar Ba. And once this check was signed, it was handed over to Fadumas, who sent it to the bank for Mr. Remy. But it has to do with also foreign currencies, conversion of foreign currency. So and you have the details of Babukar, who received it. But he was providing the bank with foreign currency.
Providing the bank?
The bank, yeah, the trust bank.
Providing trust bank with foreign currency?
The check, was the trust bank check.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
But I'm just giving you those documents, maybe to help you remember what the money was spent on. All right.
The money was for foreign currency also. But
right.
This Babukar, would be providing the foreign currency. So the check was drawn to Trust Bank, and Trust Bank had to, pay it to, Babukar Ba, for that person. I've never met him, I don't know him, but I know that, he provided that service of foreign currency.
He was a foreign currency dealer?
Yes.
The sixth check of 1,510,299 paid to Babukar Jobate, Protocol Officer, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah, it probably has to do with protocol. Like I was saying, that there are subcommittees, there are committees, and one of those committees would be security, protocol, accommodation, transportation and all. But Babukar was heading the protocol side, and this was in relations to their work, what they were supposed to accomplish for the successful hosting of the event.
Okay, there were checks paid to hotels. We won't go into that. I will assume it's to accommodate guests.
Yes.
There is a check of the eighth check, which is a check of 3 million paid to Amadou Samba. What was it for?
I had assumed that that was for fireworks. Because sometimes Amadou is given some assignments, like he testified here, and I understood from his testimony that it was probably for foreign exchange.
What do you recollect? That's what he says. What do you recollect? Because you wrote something different in your statement.
Yes, I had the impression, the assumption at that time that it was for fireworks.
The Accountant General gave evidence before the Commission. I'm sure you have heard his evidence. And he provided a list of payments that comprised an impress which was retired as a refund, and one of those payments was a refund to Mr. Amadou Samba. Now, does that ring any bell?
Was a refund?
Yes. It says refund, and then there were a list of people refunded, and one of them was Mr. Amadou Samba, 3 million.
For me, my understanding at that time was he was providing a service, and that was the cost that he needed to be paid.
Okay, what service do you recollect?
Yeah, fireworks, that's what I recollect.
Was providing.
If that is the case.
That's quite a lot of money for fireworks. $3 million?
Yeah. 3 million, yeah, it's a lot of money.
Was there a budget for this event? And if there is, where can we find this budget?
A budget for this event?
Yes. Would a budget have been prepared, costed?
I believe it would be, it is available, it should be available. There was an estimate, a budget estimate, where the various committees would submit their requirements, and then that would be vetted and then also endorsed, by the President, and then there would be a line item, a vote, where these funds should be tapped from.
What was the role of Fatou Masjid?
She headed the committee, the organizing committee.
All right. As I said, the rest are a payment to hotels: Baobab Hotel, Sagis Hotel, Ocean Bay Hotel, Sun Beach Hotel.
They were for accommodation.
Could you confirm these were for accommodation?
They were for accommodation for guests that were hosted.
From the United States?
Yes.
Did you take them back as well? Did you
Yes.
you took them back?
I think that, yeah, that was the charter.
All right. Thank you. Could you collect those documents from?
And coming back to the to that fireworks thing, I may be wrong. I may not be too sure, but that was an assumption that I had. But we know that we were supposed to make that payment to him, which the President signed.
Mr. Chairman, unless you have questions on this account, I'd just like to move on to the national security account.
All right, you can carry on.
Exhibit BB 78. You were also signatory to a national security projects account, which was also opened and held at the Trust Bank Limited. Yourself and the President were the signatories. I'm going to show you a document from BB 76, which is the account opening package or information card, and just confirm that this was an account to which you were signatory with the President.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What was the purpose of this account? As far as
the former president chose this name, that the account should be named National Security Projects account, probably for projects and related issues of national security.
As far as we can see from the evidence and accounts presented by the Trust Bank Limited, 2,100,000 went into this account from the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan.
Right.
No other funds went into this account.
No, yeah.
And one wonders what the relationship of this account with national security, whether there is any relationship or connection between this account and national security.
I couldn't find any relationship. Probably the funds to be lodged there in case national security issues come up. But I cannot relate to any relationship except that the fact that it has provided the funds, to that account.
Surely he must have asked you to open the account.
Sorry?
He must have asked you to open the account.
Yes.
And you did not find out precisely why he wanted such an account?
Why did I?
Yes. At least I would assume if the President says go open an account, you would want to know what to tell the bank when you actually went to open the account.
For national security matters. That's what I deduced from it.
You just assumed, or he told you that?
No, he told me go and open this account, and the account would be named the National Security Projects account.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you first the deposits. You had been here earlier in connection with a 10 million that was paid to you from the GNPC account.
GNPC, right.
Okay. I'm going to show you the first transaction in the Dallas account, and confirm whether this has any connection with the 10 million that was paid to you in the GNPC account, from the GNPC account. For prison.
It's on what page?
The top document is a statement of account, and you will see there is a 10 million deposited. 10 million. There is a letter from Trust Bank in the next page indicating that it was a 10 million check from Access Bank, manager's check from Access Bank.
Right.
All right, do you see it?
Yes, ma'am. It's the first one, first item.
Does it have anything to do with the 10 million paid to you from the GNPC account?
It didn't state so here, but it's a $10 million C, and also I think that it was an Access Bank check. GNPC had an account with Access Bank. So like I said, that's why I had a trouble trying to, figure out when the check came and after what happened. And that's why I wanted, some sort of documents to, so that I can refresh my memory and see. But I had a trouble trying to figure out afterwards, because I understand, I have said here that yes, it was received. The check was written on the Secretary General's name, which we received, and I informed him, that the check has arrived, and I remember handing over to him the check.
Yes,
Afterwards, that was the problem. What happened?
Mr. Ba, I'm just trying to be of assistance to you, actually.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Is that the check? 10 million from Access Bank. If it's not, then we move on.
No, it may be the check, Ma. Because I remember that it was an Access Bank check. And it didn't say, and I cannot remember the period also. It was 19 April. So if I was able to check the records, then I'll be able to, certify that yes, this might. But I know that yes.
Very well. We will get the investigators to show you any records that we have. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
I wanted to add that for the prisons, the reason why this was requested, the check was requested. I think there was some visitors from outside who came and lamented on the conditions of the prisons, and that was brought up, and I believe he talked to the former Minister of Interior, Usman Sonko, about the need to satisfy those requirements, that is improving the prisons. And I don't know, but there were structures at the prisons in 2014, around that end, that were built concerning visitors' room, searching area, and a tailoring workshop. That was constructed there. I don't know whether it is from that amount, that money that was provided by JNPC or not, but I know that there were new structures that were built, and the former Minister of Interior inaugurated those facilities at the prisons.
Well, once you can confirm, because if you look at the national security account, we find no money spent on the prisons. But let me have those documents back.
Yeah.
There are just some transactions. Now, this money was paid by ROC,
yeah.
$2.1 million into this account, right? 2.9.
It was about 2.9 something.
$2.9 million, but only 2.1 was paid into the account.
Yes.
From the Trust Bank documents, cash was withdrawn. The balance was withdrawn in cash.
Right.
Yes. And the instructions were given by you.
Right.
And only you. You
I
signed.
couldn't go to the bank myself.
Well, the instructions were given by you.
Right.
For the money to be paid in cash.
Because I was supposed to go myself, and I couldn't for other official matters, so I had to send somebody and give the instructions, as I was instructed to do. Do we have the...
Yes, let me just show you first what I mean.
Okay.
It said pay Secretary General $2,921,317. And then you then wrote, we would like to save the 2.1 million to a dollar account and the rest 821,317 cashed in dollars. And please pay Modu Sow, Cadet, Protocol Officer, on my behalf. Right, and sign, and we have your signature and your stamp as Office of the Secretary General. So the ex-president had no had no role in this process. So we just want you to explain why was cash being withdrawn and what was it for, and what did you do with that cash?
Very well. A check was issued. ROC checks are not, most of them, 99% of them, they're not paid to, the president. It's always the Secretary General, that is being paid to.
We've seen a significant amount being paid to the president, but I'm sure there are many others as well.
No,
Yeah.
that's the 1% that I said 99%. This particular check was handed over to me by the president. Because sometimes he has audience with the ROC ambassador, and then make his requests, which sometimes are not known to us. And when they are responding positively, they would also seek an audience, and then we will meet and then present it to him. And then it would later on, because it is that is their procedure, it is signed at the SG's name, then he would provide it to the SG to go and take necessary action, whatever actions he wanted to be taken. But he directed that we put 2.1 million into that account, and that the rest of the money to be paid in cash and then given to him.
Basically, you're saying there are written directives that you acted on.
Written.
Are you saying there were written directives?
No, we've been trying to explain to you about how this man operated.
I know you've been trying to explain, but
it's not.
Mr. Ba, if you would listen, we have seen a lot of written directives by the president. So it's not all the time.
No,
as far as you can see.
Nobody said all the time.
Yes. So I want to know whether these were written directives or not.
No. It wasn't a written directive. We normally go in the morning into his office, and then he directs you, or he gives you something. He tells you you write, or he gives you something to go and take care of. But it was not a written directive.
So what happened to the cash? You haven't explained.
No, it was once it was cashed and received, it was handed over to him. Because I didn't know even what was the root cause of that that money.
All right. I'm going to show you some I know some of quite a number of the transactions were paid for students, various students. Yeah, we've gone over that before, that there really was no policy that students were sponsored at his discretion, absolute discretion. That's what you said in your evidence before. So we won't go into the students that he sponsored. But there are some transactions that we want you to explain. There is a transaction dated 5th June 2012, which says this is to request that you kindly pay from our US dollar account the following amounts payable to the Secretary General, Office of the President. And then the first one is $357,143. I believe I have another copy. Can you show this to the witness? As down payment for the fencing of the Banjul International Airport, an equivalent of $5 million as loan for green industries to buy raw materials, pay salaries, and settle arrears. My question is this. Both of you signed, yourself and the ex-president. If you are going to fence the Banjul International Airport, why would you be paid cash in this huge amount, at least huge for Gambia? Banjul International Airport is under a corporation, a state corporation. Maybe Green Industries is a company. When even there they have bank accounts. So one doesn't really understand this transaction.
Why? Your question was why was paid to?
Yes, why pay Secretary General to fence Banjul International Airport?
Banjul International Airport was his project, was the former president's project. And he said that it was going to be...
What do you mean by his project? It was a government project being funded from government resources.
I'm not talking about, the funds that were, that were used. I'm saying that it was his idea that, this airport would be fenced. And he took it as his project, that he wanted to oversee, the fencing of the project. He would be the one that would at some point go and inspect, the works, and
a fence.
Yes, the fence. He would, that's what he said. That he was going to be the one that was going to oversee the work that was being done, and the funds would be available in the office. And once payments were ready to be made, with the certification of the Ministry of Works, because there was the Ministry of Works was working with the company that was doing the construction, and they would then send a request for payments to the office of the president, and then payments would be then paid to the contractors, and I believe that's why it was paid to. He wanted everything under his watch, under his control, and that's why it was brought to the.
So when it was paid to you, so what do you do? I mean,
no.
You actually give the contractors cash, or what, you buy building materials cash? What did you do?
The monies were in a safe.
In a safe?
In a safe.
In your office?
In the office of the Secretary General, yes.
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Yes.
You call in the contractors and pay them?
No, when payment is due, there's a certificate of work being done, and would be certified by Ministry of Works, and then they would send a letter, accompanying letter to the office that this is the payment that is due.
I would rather you did not speak at large. Let's focus on this one. Are you saying the Ministry of Works actually certified the works and you paid and they were involved?
That's to my recollection. Yes, while I was there.
And where would the documentation be found? I mean, as Secretary General, there are set procedures for expending money. And cash in a safe in an office of this magnitude is not one of them. So I would have expected that you would take particularly since it was in a safe in your office, you would really make sure that you really had a sort of at least understandable process for dispensing of this money.
There was a process there, like I was saying.
And where will we find those documents?
At the, it should be at the office, Ministry of Works files.
Okay.
It should be there. But there were requests and certificates that were issued, and then payments were then made based on those certificates.
All right.
And this was just the for the down payment, of the work, because I believe the person.
Who was the person doing this fencing?
I cannot recall, but I think it's a Gigo or something.
Gigo Construction.
I don't know whether it's Gigo Construction, but the person's last name was Gigo. But I don't know.
Who handled the contracting process? Was it your office? Was it Works? Ministry of Works?
It was the two offices.
The two offices. Very well. And this 5 million loan to green industries, was it ever refunded? Certainly there is no payment into the national security account.
I cannot remember whether it was repaid, but this was a request for a loan for green industries, as the letter stated, and it was to buy raw materials, and they were not paying salaries, and they had arrears. And
what did the green industries have to do with your office?
That also was, the former president's project. He he initiated that project to employ youth. He was saying it was for youth employment.
All right. Can I have the document? There is this payment to Taiwan Fertilizer Company.
Yes.
Of $218,800.
Yes.
Yes. What is this all about? Taiwan Fertilizer Company?
During a trip that he made to Taiwan, it was there that he met with these guys. I think it's a company that manufacture or produce fertilizers. And he decided to order fertilizers, and he said for the Gambia.
Fertilizer for the Gambia?
Yes.
He said for the Gambia. But yes, tell us about the fertilizer. It came, I presume, and what happened to the fertilizer?
I believe it came and it went to Kenilai Family Farms.
Right. So he said it was for the Gambia, but when it came, it went to Kanilai Family Farms. Now, all right.
They were probably going to sell it to farmers.
To sell it to farmers?
As they said, they were probably supposed to, sell it to farmers.
Okay. What is Moonraker Associates, U.S., to which payments were made?
Moonraker?
Moonraker Associates, yes.
I think that's a company that was hired to deliver and place in operation the VVIP airliner that the president purchased.
The what?
The aircraft. There was this aircraft, the last one that was bought. This Moonraker Associates, they were tasked to deliver the aircraft to the Gambia, and I think that payment was their services.
New Nexus International Strategies?
New Nexus is owned by one Jackson McDonald. I once mentioned his name here. He was
Ambassador Jackson McDonald.
Former U.S. ambassador to the Gambia. They end up becoming friends, and Jackson McDonald is in the States, United States. The president hired him to probably represent him at that end in buying. If he needs something, if he needs to meet some people, if he needs whatever, he would have, that person would be his contact person who would do that job for him, do the searching, do the connections, and then relate back to him. And, those payments were for his, services.
So, Ambassador Jackson McDonald,
yes.
Did he retire when he went back?
Yeah.
He retired?
He retired. He has his company, this Nexus International, Nexus. And that is.
And as far as you are aware, what services did he render? He was being paid. Was he being paid? First, how was he being paid? Was he on a monthly retainer, annual retainer?
He was on a monthly retainer.
Of how much?
$20,000.
$20,000 every month. So during the period you were Secretary General, he was receiving this $20,000 a month?
Yes.
So apart from the national security account, he would receive it from other accounts as well?
Maybe. And I left, I left also, and I think he was still there providing services.
So let's go back to my previous question. So, as far as you are aware, what service did he?
Well, he helped in this linking the office and these like Moonraker Associates and Bizliners. Bizliners, they're the company that provided the pilots.
The what?
The pilots.
The pilots.
Yeah, the pilots that flew in the aircraft, and also connected the John Deere company, the tractors, and also the Oshkosh, fire tenders at the airport. He also made that connection. And
Did Ambassador Jackson have a residence here? Did he reside here?
No. I mean, he used to come and go, and he would be staying at Coco Ocean.
All right. There is a $14,592,746 kVA generator for 1,200 kVA generator for the Royal Victoria Hospital.
Yeah.
Was amounting to $444,900. Was that really purchased?
That was purchased, yes, by NAVEC, and it was delivered to Royal Victoria Hospital.
It was?
Yes.
All right, we'll follow up. All right. Could you give the witness this, Mr. Chairman, I'm almost done. Can you give the witness this transaction? This is the $50,000 paid to
Council.
Yes, I'm almost done.
We have 10 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm grateful. Here to Mr. Sow, Mr. Mumudu Sow.
Yeah.
Can you shed light on that transaction?
Yes, it was a request from the president, which I had to ensure, because all these requests that he asked me to do, I always make sure that 99% of it he signs them. Signing it means he validates it, he knows what it is about, and he endorses it. And I have, the copy here. But it was a request that he said he wanted. He needed that 50,000. I couldn't go because I don't go to the bank. I was doing some other things. So I had to assign this protocol officer to go to the bank to receive it. And once it was received, it was handed over, to him as requested. But the mere fact that he signs it, also indicates that he is aware and he endorses it. And we were just conveying the request. But the best thing we could do was to make sure he signs the paper.
Right. Now the Dalasi account, there were cash withdrawals, of course, to Mamadou Job of 3.5,700,000. There were other cash withdrawals as well. But there is a transaction here I would like you to explain. Again, this is a payment to Nexus, I believe it's Ambassador Jackson once again. And there is an email from Ambassador Jackson.
Engage as SG with other businesses, official business. I couldn't go, and I had to send the protocol officer. Once that was received, then we would inform him that the transaction has been made, and then he would send the Otleys to come and pick it up, or we accompany the protocol officer would accompany the cash to his office. But we don't know exactly, I don't know exactly what was for the purpose, but it was a request on which he,
So are we to understand that, are we to understand then
Yes.
that for all cash payments for which no explanation is available, the same answer would apply? That the money was given to the president and you don't know what he applied it towards?
Yeah, yes. Most of those would have signatures. You would see that there are signatures where he signed, and these cash payments, except this one that I didn't see a letter to that.
You know, sometimes both you and him would indicate the purpose, but sometimes it's just cash payment. So my answer is, my question is where it doesn't have any explanation.
Yeah, it is a request that he says, go and I need this amount of money from this account, and we will write and then request for that amount.
All right, thank you. Could you collect the documents? You don't have any of my documents, do you? Can you check? You don't have?
No, I don't have any.
Oh. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all for this witness today. Maybe the commissioners might wish to ask him. He will be on these accounts, national security.
There is just one clarification I want. I think you mentioned that there was money kept in a safe in the ex-president's office. But we have had evidence here of up to $29 million and millions of dollars said to have been paid to the ex-president. Did he have a container? I'm asking you.
Did he have a container?
Do you know if he had a container where he kept money rather than a safe?
No, I'm not. I don't know, but I was told that he keeps money in a room at State House, some in bags. I don't know. Well, I haven't entered. I haven't entered. His houses. Yeah, none of the houses, but I heard. I don't know about. If there is any container. That he puts money. There are containers. At State House. Whether those containers kept money, I'm not aware, but I know that we were told that he keeps money inside in the house.
We will write. Clock.